If you could see the mess that is on my bed right now. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Anya and in today's video I want to talk about my favourite makeup from 2020. Now, none of this was released this year because I've been on a no-buy and I have barely purchased makeup at all. Most of these were stuff that, all of them, except for I think one item, were things I already had. I want to talk about the stuff that I've loved this year. This year I have rediscovered favourites. I've gotten to play with my makeup collection and it's been a hard year, I think, for a lot of us. And makeup is just my escape from anything and I've enjoyed putting new things on my face that I haven't used that much before. I've enjoyed experimenting with makeup that I haven't used and tried before, like two-toned eye looks. I have fallen head over heels in love with makeup again and it's so nice to just be in that feeling for a bit. I've been loving makeup for years and I am disabled due to chronic illness, so I don't leave the house much. This year hasn't really been that different for me in terms of like leaving the house, staying at home, because I barely leave my house anyway. But I've also had a bit of health issues and haven't gotten, at least in like the first half of the year, I felt like I hadn't gotten to play with my makeup collection enough. I was sort of falling behind of my goal of using everything. I was stressed and I sort of realised then that okay, you're gonna have to stop pushing yourself because you're making makeup not fun, and if makeup is not fun for me, I don't want to do it. So I set myself down, I got rid of that goal of getting to everything and started enjoying what I had. And it's just been a blast. I've had so much fun playing with makeup, experimenting with new things. One of the things is cream cheek products. I hated them. I thought I would never touch them. And this year they have become one of my favourite things. And it's just been so much fun. Rambling aside, I have a couple of items that are like item specific to certain categories. But in general, for most of this, it's just like here is a combination of products I liked using together. This is a type of look that I liked, and all of this is using the stuff I already had. I don't think everything I'm showing is currently available. I think some of it definitely is, and I will leave a name to anything that I show in the description box so you can check that out. But I think the place to start is with primer, and there's colours everywhere. My favourite is the Fenty Pro Filter. I haven't picked that out because I decided not to pick out anything that is a part of my accessible base, which is a collection of 5 products that were my no-buy-year exceptions because they make makeup accessible to me. I have a video on those products and how I use them. It's linked in the description box if you want to check it out. But the Fenty Primer is part of that because it is my favourite. It works with everything. And it's one of the makeup items I repurchased this year because of that. So, it gets an honourable mention here. Something that I have been enjoying is the Smashbox Primer Water. This is actually empty. I finished this today. It's the Serene Greens one. I actually just repurchased this because I realised how much I enjoy having it and how much it just has helped my skin, especially now that it's gotten more dry. And I don't know if it's just like a thing my brain thinks is working. I don't know if it actually like physically does something, but the placebo effect is nice sometimes, so I don't mind having it and I quite like it. I also really enjoyed the scent. The other primer is sort of in combination with the colour corrector, and it's an illuminating primer. I have the CoverFX one here because that's the only one I have at the moment, but I've also used up one from Becca this year, I believe. Illuminating primers along with cream cheek products, it's going to tie all together here, was something that I was like, okay, I'm going to use it, I'm going to finish it, and then I'm not going to repurchase it again, because illuminating primers don't work for me underneath foundation and concealer because they emphasize texture. They just don't work under liquid foundation or powder foundation. But I tried it under colour corrector, and this was technically last year, so it's a re-favourite again, but it's something that I've kept doing, and oh my gosh, have I loved it. I have always had, I say issues, my skin is very red. It's not visible when I'm wearing makeup most of the time, and it's not visible from my neck or chest, but my face is bright red-ish. It's noticeably red for me at least, pretty much all the time. I've always been a little bit self-conscious about it. When it came to makeup and starting to getting into that, I wanted to cover it. I wanted flawless face, I wanted nothing visible, and the only way I could cover it was with a full coverage foundation. and that's what I've been doing for years. I have always been full coverage or nothing. I have never liked having anything visible when it comes to redness on my face. Towards the end of last year, I started watching Hannah Louise Poston, and she uses green colour corrector. This one is from Mekka. It's my favourite. It's both affordable and the tone works really well. I started using it more. I had it in my stash, and I had one I think from Urban Decay last year. I figured out how to use it. I also through the process of starting to using it, learned that I don't need full coverage to feel good in my skin. I can handle lighter coverage and be okay with it and enjoy it. My skin has good days sometimes when it absolutely does not need a full coverage foundation, but I would still put it on just to feel okay. But I've started enjoying colour corrector because it still makes my skin look like skin, and I've become okay with letting some of the redness show through. I don't really get a lot of blemishes. I get the occasional one every once in a while. This year I've gotten a lot due to using a lot of products, some of which my skin disagreed with quite heavily. But normally I don't really get blemishes, so that's never a worry for me. I just want to tone down my normal redness, and I discovered properly this year, I feel like that green colour corrector is enough for that. It takes a little bit more effort for me than just putting on a powder foundation, but some days it's worth it. To tie in with that, I have cream cheek products. And I have a Makeup Mekka cream blush here. This is in Squeeze Today. It's a really nice peach colour. This is one of the only new products I bought this year, and this started a category I had planned on keeping empty because I, before this year, hated cream cheek products. As I said, I used to be full coverage or nothing, and I would always set my face with a powder, and applying cream blush, bronzer and highlighter over the top always removed coverage, always made it look bad. I realised when I started using colour corrector more that I didn't want to set my face with the powder just to be able to apply blush, bronzer or highlighter. And I had bronzers and highlighters in liquid and cream form, so I was using them, but I did not have a blush, and I spent weeks using lipstick as blush, and it does work amazingly well. But this summer I ended up doing a bit of research and figuring out and buying a cream blush, and I ended up with the one from Makeup Mekka because it was the cheapest, and I'm a sucker for peach blush, and it looked like a colour that I would enjoy, and I have loved it so much. Then I have even considered buying more cream blush. I've kept off for now because I still have lip products that I like using as blush, and even though they pretty much all fall under the peach category, that's like 90% of the blush that I wear, and at the moment I don't see myself needing a new one. I'm probably going to buy one in the new year. I have my eye on a couple that aren't like anyone that I have. Discovering that I can use cream cheek products again and actually like how it ends up looking, it's been a game changer really. And as I said, using the cream colour corrector, it's more work for me to get a base that I like versus using my powder foundation, which is my go-to when I want something easy and quick. But it's worth it. Some days it's worth it to just get to have super glowy skin. On the topic of glowy skin, I hated highlighters a couple of years ago. I collected a bunch and it made no sense to me why I did it whilst also hating it. But this year I have moved away from matte skin over to glowy, and of course that is best done with a little bit of help sometimes, and highlighters have been so nice to have. I have 3 that I go back to, and these were favourites for me last year. I don't think I made a video last year, but these were favourites last year, and they're favourites again for the exact same reason. They are incredibly glowy, look gorgeous on the skin, and they are beautiful colours on me. I'm very pale, and most highlighters tend to be just a touch too dark, so they end up looking like I have a stripe or something on my face. I have discovered a couple that just work with my skin, and it's magical when that happens. My favourite is Becca Berlin Girl Glow. It looks like it would be too dark. It has like a beige, I think they call it like a honey colour, but it has like a slightly bluey purpley shift, and this on my face, it just looks magical. It's perfect. I've been close to buying a second one of this. I don't need that, absolutely not, because it's just so perfect. The other ones here are Fenty Lightning Dust Fire Crystal. I also really like them. They too, I think the thing with most highlighters, they always look like they're going to be too dark unless they are a straight up white colour. But these also just work wonderfully on my skin and they're really nice and shiny. The shade on one side has glitter in it and I don't mind that. But I like that you sort of have an option of no glitter and glitter, and I just put both on because they look great. And finally I have a face palette. This was a collaboration with Selena, Karinen and this Louisa from Mekka. It's How We Do, and it's this shade in particular, which is the lightest one, called Honeybee. This just makes my skin look like straight up glow. It's zero texture. It looks like nothing but glow, which it's so special to me, and I love it so much. I can't really wear the darker shades. I can wear the middle one sort of as a bridge between my highlighter and bronzer, especially on my forehead during the summer. It looks great. But I've been using this darker one as an eyeshadow and they're just so nice. They look just incredible. My favourite bronzer, number 7, it's called Maple. It's light, has a slight like yellowy green undertone, works wonders for me, love it so much. Most bronzers tend to go too orange, too warm, but this is perfect. It's literally my perfect bronzer. For blush product, I have one here. This is also a duo from e.l.f. It's the Baked Highlighter and Blush in Rose Gold. These are so beautiful on the cheeks. The highlighter is super glowy. I am wearing it today. The blush is also super glowy, which I love. And I tend to just mix these two together when I wear them. I will dip my brush in the blush, apply it, then swirl together, go over, and it just looks, it's my favourite cheek look in one product essentially. With blush, I am a peach blush person. This was a Tarte birthday gift last year in the shade Quirky, and when I say I've used this blush so many times and it looks untouched, but this is pigmented, it's beautiful. My favourite peach blush at the moment is Cantaloupe from H&M. It is gorgeous. It is lighter than this and a little bit more shiny, but I think this may have won. This is a little bit deeper, a little bit more brown, but I mean I wear them both a lot, but this has just been incredible. And if all brands could make blushes this size, please do, because this is 1.5 grams and it's enough for half a lifetime probably. Along with peach blush, something that I got to play with this year was leaning more orange, and I have this sleek palette. It's a blush palette in lace and I have loved these shadows. I already loved the one in the middle, which is a deep orange with a lot of gold shimmer, so it's very shiny on the cheeks, which I love. And I also liked this one a decent amount. It's like a bright orange coral colour, but this one I've always been not necessarily afraid of, but I've always had issues with it. It never looks perfect and I've always just been like, yeah, I'm gonna go with the other one instead. But this year, this one in particular has just been a game changer. It's been brought in so many times. This summer I practically lived out of this blush palette. It was, along with the cream blush, the only thing I used. And the e.l.f. one. They were like the only cheek products I used for pretty much the entire summer, and I loved it so much. Shall we talk about some eye products? It's been a little bit weird. As I said, I've tried using my entire makeup collection this year. It was hard, I didn't do it, but I got to a lot of it and I have enjoyed so much of my makeup collection. When it comes to eyeshadows, my favourite single shadows in cream form are Colourpop Super Shock shadows. This is Melrose and KathleenLights. Melrose is a mid-tone to dark reddish brown. KathleenLights is a bright copper. I also have Lightening Bug, which is similar to KathleenLights, it's just more glittery. And then Sundance is a rose gold. These are 4 of my favourite shades this year, but this is my favourite eyeshadow formulation of all time, and I love it so much. It's just super easy to work with, always looks good, never creases, always lasts well on my eyes, and I love them so much. And I mean, I have a type with eyeshadow which is warm tones. These definitely fit that. But I just love them. I've loved them so much. With eyeshadow palettes, it hasn't really been that many that have stood out to me, because I realised this year that my favourite way to use eyeshadow is as singles, and especially my magnetic palette from Adept, which houses my singles. But there is one palette that does stand out a little bit, which is Honey from Colourpop. I do love me some yellow eyeshadow. It is one of my favourite eyeshadows to wear alongside warm tones and neutrals. I love them. They always just brighten my day. They bring a pop of colour, and this has been pretty much that perfectly. I hate the pressed glitter in the middle. I always hate them. I never use them. I tried and I hated how it looked and was scared the entire time. If I'm going to use glitter, I'm using Stila Glitter and Glow. I hate pressed glitters, but I just love the tones in this because you have a bright orange, a little bit of a warmer orange, you have duochrome, you have some mattes that lean more brown but still have enough yellow in them to work, and it just is such a beautiful palette and I love it so much. But as I said, my single shadows have been my love this year. I have them in my Adept palette, which is a magnetic palette, and this is where I house them. I decluttered my single shadows this year in my makeup declutter. I ended up actually making a separate video out of it because it was so long, and it's now organised a little bit differently. I have them organised in have used, have not been used, minus the face products on that side. It's my perfect way. I love the Adept palette for one. It is two-sided with a clear screen in the middle, and it houses a lot of eyeshadows. It did not house all of my ones, I should say. It does now that I have decluttered, but I have fallen in love with single shadows and the ability to just do this. Pick out a colour story, slap it in a palette and have it right there. This is my December colour palette, purple, red and green, along with some nude peach blushes. I love this. I've always known that I've preferred single shadows over palettes. My issue with palettes is that they always end up being too big for me. I don't really reach for them if they get too big. My largest is that the Anastasia ones are on the border of being too large. I don't reach for them as often as I would. Same with these Colourpop ones. This is literally about as big as I would go. This is the 9 pan. I can also deal with their 12 pans. But anything bigger than that is too big for me. I do have palettes that are bigger than that and I rarely reach for them, and this year it's been even more clear to me how much I value my single shadows and how happy I am that I have them, and also how clear it is to me that this is absolutely a place in my makeup collection that I will expand next year because it is my favourite part of makeup. Eyeshadow is my love. It's the first thing I did with makeup and it's to this day my favourite thing to put on and play with, and this year I've started experimenting more with colour and with multichromes, with duochromes, and I've loved every moment of it and I want to continue and I want to do more. Eyeshadow is one of those parts of my collection that I want to expand. I want to try more brands, more formulations, specifically more indie brands, more multichromes and duochromes, which is something I was scared of, because it seemed like it was something so extreme and something that would be difficult to work with for someone like me who pretty much always goes for something simple and preferably neutral toned. They always seemed kind of flashy, but this year I've realised that that's part of why I love them so much. They're not really that much work, just let the shadow shine. That's been my thing with multichromes especially. It's just pick a matte colour if I feel like it that matches it to use in the crease or something, and just put it on and let it do the talking, and I don't need to do anything else. I've loved my eyeshadows so much this year. I'm almost crying, and I mean, I am an emotional person. I will cry out of nothing, but this year, with everything going on and with my health being bad, it's just been a little bit difficult to find joy in things, but finding joy in my makeup is part of why I love it so much. With my eyeshadows in particularly, they have been the crown jewel, the highlight of my entire year, and I can't wait to play with them more. Pairing with eyeshadow, I briefly mentioned the Stila Glitter and Glows. They are the only way I will wear glitter on my eyes. I have some Makeup Mekka ones that are very similar. Stila is my favourite though. It's just so much shine, so much sparkle, so much glitter, and I never worry because my issue is I have sensitive eyes that hate anything. They don't like eyeliner, they don't like my contact lenses, they don't like wearing glasses, which is a weird thing. but they hate being touched, they hate just being used. I do like me some glitter, and being introduced to the Stila glittering glows have been a game changer for me. And I have two here. Diamond Dust is what I'm wearing on my eyes today, on top of eyeshadow, because it kind of reminds me of snow. It's just so gorgeous. And I have had multiple times this year where I have just been too unwell to put makeup on my face, but I will have grabbed things and I would have put them all over my hands, and my hands would have been a colourful, sparkly mess. And it was so much fun. And these were a part of that. Rose Gold Retro is one of my go-to shades. This and Kitten Karma, along with Bronzed Belle, are my favourite. They're very similar. This is a little bit more rose gold, as the name would suggest. But they're just so sparkly. It's just the easiest way for me to add a little bit of extra to an eye look and just slap some on the lid. And they're wonderful. With mascara, I wear pretty much only one. My favourite is the Tarte one. I've enjoyed Lash Princess from Essence as well this year. And something else that I don't wear all that much is liners as well. I have a couple of pencil liner favourites here. Makeup Mekka, their waterproof smooth eyeliner pens. The pencil liners, they are incredible. They're pigmented. They are so easy to use. This is a nude shade which works really well for me, but I have a lot of the colours, and I've gotten rid of some that they don't have anymore that I just don't use, but their neutrals are amazing. They're super smooth and creamy, and they last all day for me, so I've enjoyed those a lot. Colourpop Chrome Gel Liners, I have specifically picked out the shade Punch, which is a yellow. Was a favourite for me this summer, along with Prance, which is a light blue, which was for a look that I meant to post in October. I actually filmed it and meant to post it in like July, which was a Cinderella inspired eye look. I wore it in one of my videos. It was light blue and very sparkly. That look to me stands out as one of my favourites from this entire year. The other ones here are from Linda Hallberg. These are mood crayons. I have Anger here, which is the red one, and Calm, which is a green. I have, I think, all of the mood crayons that she has, along with a shade, the purple, that she doesn't make anymore. And these are incredibly pigmented, creamy, smooth, amazing, both as eyeliner, lip liner, and as in like a base. I've used them for all of those things. They are incredible. They are a bit pricey, but for me, they are worth it. It's not a product I reach for that often, but having something that is this amazing in my collection, that is so easy to use, I love them a lot. They have been a standout for me this year. I also want to mention briefly some lashes. I'm not a big lash person. I have a stash of about 15. I don't wear them very frequently, but some of my favourites are the Makeup Mekka ones, but my like true loves is this one, which is Noir Fairy Light by House of Lashes. This is my go-to. I tend to pull it out on my birthday, on Christmas, on New Year's. It just adds a little something to the eye, and they are really comfortable to wear, which is a big thing for me. This year I also got to try the Neverland lashes, which was a collaboration with Disney and Tinkerbell. They're also really nice, much more natural looking. But also Featherette, which are very similar to the Noir Fairy Light ones, and I like them both. They are really comfortable. And House of lashes are very expensive in Norway to buy. They have them at some H&M stores, but I've had Noir Fairy Light for, it's going to be 3 years now, and I wear it like 2-3 times a year. It's still going strong for me. They're great to have for whenever I feel like adding a little bit of extra. When glitter isn't enough, I go for the lashes, and these are amazing. Before I move on to the lip products, I have a setting spray to talk about. I use setting spray pretty much every time I do my makeup. I like them both for adding a little bit of like a refresh and just feeling nice putting them on, but I have a couple that actually do their job. The e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set is amazing. One of my favourites, two from NYX, both the dewy and the matte one, also favourites. My number one is the Makeup Mekka setting spray in the pink cap. It is incredible. All three of them, well 4 technically, are very affordable, and I like them a lot. They do amazing things for me and my makeup. They make it last longer. They also just melt everything together and it just looks better. Then we have lip products, and I have a couple that are like specific ones. One of them is lip liners, and I have all 10 shades here from the Makeup Mekka lip liner on Point. I've been panning these. I haven't managed to finish every single shade yet, but they have just become my favourite lip liners. They are creamy, easy to wear. I can wear them as lipsticks if I want, and I've done that multiple times. The colour selection is fairly neutral. I would say they have a lot of light browns, beiges, nudes, more of like a warm brown, and then a couple of reds here. They're fairly neutral in colour, and for me that works fairly well because my lip colour go-tos are nudes, light browns, browns and reds. So these are perfect for me, and the formulation is also amazing. And I am a lip liner person. I have pretty much always been a lip liner person. I use them frequently, not every time, but I use them most of the time I do my makeup, especially if I'm wearing a brighter colour or a darker colour. Because of the precision in application, I have shaky hands, and sometimes just being able to go around the edge with something that is small and easy to control can save a makeup look for me when I have shaky hands, and these have been a standout for me this year. I am also a liquid lipstick person, but with dry lips, liquid lipsticks are difficult. My favourite formulation for multiple years has been the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. 3 of my favourite shades are Cape Town, which is a light brown, Leon, which is more of a mid to dark reddish brown, and then I have Stockholm, which is a pinky light brown. I love them. The NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams, I will have a review eventually with swatches of almost every single shade. They are comfortable, they are, most of them, fully pigmented, they dry down matte. I love how comfortable they are. They don't dry my lips out, and I just like them a lot. I do wish they could come out with more colours, especially oranges. I do love a good orange lip, and they don't have that anymore. They had one called Morocco, which was amazing, and I don't know why they got rid of it, but I have been loving my NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams this year. Another liquid lipstick formulation that I like is the NYX Liquid Suede. I have tried these in the past once or twice, but this year I decided to actually properly wear them and try the ones I had, because I have Soft Spoken in a full size, which is a brown, and it's just gorgeous. They're more liquidy than the Soft Matte Lip Creams, and they do dry out matte as well. They are maybe a touch more drying. They are very pigmented though, and just very easy to wear. And Soft Spoken has just been a favourite colour of mine as well, because it is this sort of reddish rosy brown that I love. And then I have this. This is a colour that I've been loving, and I have it in this liquid suede in Peanut Brittle, which was a limited edition. This was in an advent calendar, and they have a Soft Matte Lip Cream in Dallas, which was also apparently limited edition. And it's this sort of burnt orange peanut butter colour. It's heaven. I love it so much, and I only have these 2 minis in that colour in my entire collection. I like this colour a lot. When I started loving the orange blush from Sleek, this was also sort of like, I'm gonna wear it, I'm gonna wear it, I'm gonna pair them together, they're gonna look great. And this is also a colour that I've worn on my cheeks for more of a monochromatic look, and it looks great on the cheeks as well. So I've been loving this sort of burnt orange colour. Also sort of in that family, I guess this is the Fenty Mademoiselle in Freckle Fiesta, which is a very similar one. It's a little bit deeper and a little bit more brown. Again, absolutely gorgeous, love it so much. And another one that is gorgeous as a blush. I have used this as a blush multiple times. It is a matte lipstick, so it's not going to be a very like sheeny blush. The colour is gorgeous, especially something that I've been doing is just putting a little bit on and then rubbing it out, so that what you're left with is just this sort of muted brown orange colour, and I've loved that so much. And this has been my favourite way to get that, because it's such a comfortable formulation and it looks great. My favourite nude lipstick is from Isadora. It's the Sculpting lipstick in Bare Beige. It's my favourite nude, and I don't really know how to describe it, because I feel like it's very grey and sort of cool toned, but not nowhere sort of near pink, but I can also see it being a little pink. It's not peachy, it's not warm, and I feel like it just is neutral going into sort of a greyish purpley tone. And I think that's what makes this work so well for me, because I am pale with a neutral undertone for the most part, and most nude lipsticks are always either too pink or too peach or too brown. It's been like winning the jackpot with lipstick because I've always had issues finding the perfect nude or a nude that I like. My go-to, for the most part, has actually been a colour like Cape Town that is just, it's more brown and it's warmer, and as you can, it's also, it looks lighter, and that's something that I find so fascinating about this Isadora lipstick, is that's what, next to a lot of my other nudes, it looks darker. And I think that's also kind of what makes it work. It has a tiny bit of depth, but it's not too much for me. It's the perfect nude for me, and I love it. I would probably love it a touch more if it wasn't a liquid lipstick, but that's just because I just prefer a liquid lipstick that dries down matte to a more of a creamy lipstick. But I can get past all of that just for this shade alone because it is just stunning. Another lip colour that I've been loving is red. This is Stunner Lip Paint from Fenty in Uncensored. I'm wearing it today. One of my favourite reds. And in December I've sort of challenged myself a little bit. I picked a bunch of my favourite red lipsticks, put them in my stash, and told myself essentially that most times you wear makeup, you're gonna wear a red lipstick. Wear it as much as possible because it's my favourite lip colour on myself. I do love a brown and a nude, but red is my favourite on me. I think it looks great on my skin tone, on my face. I just love it. But I'm always scared to wear it. I always feel like it's a bit too much to just be at home with. But this year sort of made it even more evident that I am always so. And if I want to feel badass and rock a red lipstick, walking around the house in my pyjamas, I'm going to do it. Again, it's been one of those moments this month where it's just brought a little bit of happiness to my face and a little bit of brightness to the day, and just a touch of red lipstick was all that it took. Another honourable mention in that red category is a Flower Beauty lipstick that is ancient. Got rid of it in my declutter, bought it in Florida in 2015. It's a sheer red, and I have never really been a fan of sheer red lipsticks or sheer lipsticks, but particularly not reds because I like them to pop. I like them to be bright, and that's a sheer colour. It's always been sheer because it was a lip butter formulation, I believe, but I fell in love with that this summer, and there's just something when I don't feel like going this bright but having a tint. Then I have these Lisa Eldridge lipsticks. I have 4 shades: Velvet Fawn, Velvet Morning, Velvet Jazz and Velvet Ribbon. And when I say this has become one of my favourite lipsticks, I am not kidding. Velvet Ribbon is my favourite red in a lipstick. It's the perfect blue tone red. It is comfortable and matte on the lips, and it's so nice. I've also really enjoyed Velvet Jazz, which is a touch deeper. I wore both Velvet Jazz and Ribbon in my Christmas baking video. They're gorgeous and I like the formulation a lot. If you've seen close-up shots of this, you will have seen that the bullet kind of looks fuzzy. It's meant to imitate velvet fabric. Velvet Morning is an orange. It's just such a great colour, and the formulation just makes it great. And then Velvet Fawn is a nude. Again, it's a nude that works really, really well for me. It is very, very similar to the Isadora one, but it ends up more pink, a touch more pink. They've just been some of my favourite makeup item this year. The little gold tubes with magic. And then my final thing to talk about is lip gloss. I hated lip gloss at the beginning of the year. I have never really been a cream lipstick person or a gloss person because they always get everywhere. They get all over my water bottle, all up in my hair, and they end up everywhere and it's messy. I prefer a liquid lipstick. That's comfortable. I always have. But I still have a lot of lip gloss. This year, along with the colour corrector and the sort of less is more, well, less is less, but it's more sometimes, lip gloss came along and it's become just a thing. It's definitely not my favourite lip product. I don't think it ever will be, but I've enjoyed it, and some of my favourites are the Makeup Mekka Butter Glazes. I have Sprinkle, Donut and Frosting. They all look pretty much the same on my lips. and I like them a lot. They are near identical to the Clarins Instant Light Natural Lip Perfectors. They are not that close anymore though, because they changed the applicators on these. The ones I have that sort of fuzzy sponge tip that the Clarins ones also do. The newer ones are just a straight up plastic wedge, which I hate. It just looks super uncomfortable. No thank you. Which means I will probably never repurchase them. I'm not really running low on any of them, because even though I have enjoyed them, I don't really wear lip gloss that much. The other one here is Fenty Glow from Fenty. This is one I like if I am purposely going for a lighter makeup and just want something on the lips with a hint of tint but mostly just shine. This is one I go for. It's much thicker in formulation. It works and I like it a lot. That was my makeup. That was all of the products. I say all. There's absolutely probably something I have forgotten to mention and talk about. There always is. I always find it in the editing or 2 days after the video goes up, sitting here looking at the mess I've made. They are honestly some of my absolute favourite things on the planet at the moment. And in my makeup collection, pretty much everything here has a spot, and that spot is a favourite spot. They get used frequently, I love how they look, they never really fail me, and they just bring me so much joy. Thank you so much for watching the video. I know it was a long one. I can always get a bit rambly when I just talk about the stuff that I love. I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me your favourites in the comment section below, and also, if you've tried any of these things, let me know. And if you have any indie brands with single eyeshadows that are good, also put them in the comments below, because I am serious about expanding my single shadow collection next year. But thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye!